third. So if you want to make the final, you have to put your body on the line and make these challenges, and so far so good. So
thanks for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, Lafondra tracking down the ball from Bratton. Barbarouses into the area. Back to Lafondra, chipping it, and harmlessly to Delianov in the end. It was young King getting into the area, potentially with a better ball from Lafondra. And there is Bratton again. He's covering every inch of Netstrata Jubilee Stadium's pitch tonight.
Yeah, not without trouble. He's just hobbling a little bit. But efforts like that, Speedy, and I don't know, this sort of debate rages, maybe not about Luke Bratton, why he doesn't get national team opportunities. And maybe there's a perception that he's not athletic enough, doesn't cover the ground enough. And I think if you follow him closely, there's not many players who actually run away from Luke Bratton. And that was another great case in point of his football intelligence, getting him in the right position at the right time. He's having a big say on proceedings tonight, Luke Bratton.
Looks suspiciously offside here, Lafondra. Now he goes down. Flag has stayed down as well. Kiddo took it off him in the end. Yeah, Luke Bratton, maybe a victim of the GPS numbers in modern day football.
Or at least a perception. I don't know if GPS numbers are shared around the league, and it's data that's freely available. And maybe it is. Maybe he does come short in that discussion. He's such a fabulous player, though. I wouldn't hesitate to have him representing me.
And if you watched any of those Socceroos games from Kuwait, Ryan Grant would have loved to have had Luke Bratton in the team with that ability to play it into space for the overlapping right back. But how do Adelaide United get back into the game? Carl Viet hasn't made any changes yet. He was happy with the way his team played their football in the first half. They just couldn't quite finish off their chances. Dorigo had one edge of the area. This time he has it taken away. Johan. Bratton on the stretch again. So clever. Got his foot in the right spot to find a teammate in Retro. King has backed up that nomination during the week for the Young Player of the Year. A real contender when that award is announced. Here he is again, getting forward and looking early. Lafondra just saying a bit further out in front would have been handy. Plenty of outfield options for Carl Viet. Which way would you be playing it, Andy Harper?
Adelaide to turn the speed up as much as they can, to turn this into a game of transition as much as they can, to be anticipating Sydney to get numbers forward and try and finish the game off and then hit them. And so then, in that discussion, surely, Mohamed Toure comes into some sort of consideration. Albeit before the game said one of the things that was so central to his decision making was that his speed, one of the fastest in the league, according to the Adelaide coach.
One day he tried to put a stop to Luke Bratton's work in midfield and copped the yellow card as a result for this late challenge right in front of Mark Bosnich. What have you made since the break, Bozza?
Yeah, a little bit disappointed in Adelaide start. I spoke about before the intensity, as did Tommy Urich and their coach Carl Viet before the game. And they need to start and to finish in that type of manner. Like I said before, in the first half, Sydney like to control the tempo. They like to put it up when they need to put it up, and they like to have a chance to get a breather. They need to... Adelaide, what I'm talking about here. Hang on, let's let this go.
What a ball. Penalty again. This time Harvey Lopez concedes, but the offside flag will save him, provided VAR doesn't weigh in on that front. But what a ball from Baum Johan to unlock them, potentially.
Well, it did unlock them. It's just a matter of whether it was done legally. Barbarouses, his elbow's gone. That doesn't count because That's an illegal goal. I'd say that shoulder's just off the line.
Gee whiz, I reckon
tight.
it's really tight. We'll need the line to come out here to confirm whether that is offside or on. Otherwise, it's another spot kick, isn't it?
Yep.
This is going to be so tight. As you say, the elbow not a factor for Barbarouses in terms of being goal side of the defender. So was he being kept on by the man in the middle? If he was, then Adam Lafondra might be stepping up to the spot again. Chris Beath is getting the set square out. Got that calibration done pre-games to sort out these kind of line ball decisions. The red wig man Steve is saying just give us the free kick and we'll get on with it, but we need to dot the I's, cross the T's here. Look how close this is. Is the back foot of Elsie keeping him on?
Well, can you actually see when Birmingham's played the ball on that picture? We're just assuming that's the right time.
Well, they can check that on other angles. So they clarify that on other angles when the ball has been released. And then they match it up here. And the penalty is being given. So he's onside. Barbarouses, spot kick stands. And Harvey Lopez may well go into the book for this. A yellow card is out. And VAR has come in very handy tonight for both penalty decisions here for Sydney FC.
Well, I don't think Redwig Steve has a Jim Beam nest in his head. Not quite sure how much that can and its contents are going to remain when and if Sydney make it 3-0.
Adam Lafondra with rain sleeting into his eyes here, takes him back to the UK. Lafondra, bottom corner, and Delianov keeps his team in the game. He went exactly the same way. Adam Lafondra, and Delianov read him beautifully.
Well,
mistake playing out though, and one day able to keep it in for Adelaide United. Look back at that moment early in this second half. Still that 2-0 scoreline that the Reds have overcome against Sydney FC already this season.
Sorry, Speedy. So excited by that save from Delianov. That was truly remarkable, and he has now got a clean slate. He conceded the penalty for 1-0. Had nothing to do with the concession of that penalty, but he has squared the ledger. He's guessed the right way. He's dived. That's a brilliant penalty save.
How good, Bozza?
What a superb save from Delianov. He's given Adelaide a breath of fresh air in terms of a hope. He's given them a lot. That was going to be game, set and match for Sydney after that penalty. But that was a save that has kept them in the game. Now they've got to try to take advantage of that.
And we've seen throughout Adam Lafondra's spot kick taking that often, I reckon better than 50% of the time, he'll blast it straight down the middle. But was there a risk into the breeze that it might sail over the crossbar, and he tried to put it bottom corner again? So much went through the mind of the penalty taker. Sometimes you'll see a team change their penalty taker for that kind of situation. Lifted in, all the way in, and nearly curling in. Tom Hewitt-Bell threw himself at the ball and wasn't required in the end.
Well, this was tantalising. Firstly, Stephen Mork with that forward run was taking the attention of the Sydney defenders. Didn't quite take the attention of Tom Hewitt-Bell, but he had to hedge his bets. Does Stephen Mork get a glance on this? I've got to position myself for a glancing header and then react to the ball as it goes through. Thankfully for him and his team, it curled wide.
And boys, this is where Sydney are going to have to be very careful second half. We know they like to keep a little bit deeper. That's the way they like to play. But with this win behind Adelaide, that's the type of situation that is going to happen. So they're just going to make sure they're not too deep.
Kitto bending it in. Will it curl back in here for Halloran. And the ball spun back in as well as Strain was appealing for the throw. Stayed in the field of play. He's given it up here. Bobo looks to launch the counter-attack. Sydney FC so deadly in these situations. But Barbarouses lost out to Kiddo. Urich. And Red Tray played the way he was facing to concede the corner.
That was calculated up from Tommy Urich. He got to the ball comfortably and then he looked up into the box. He said, if I delay this, the supporting runs that are coming are going to be rendered useless. And so I'll fire it at an angle, make the defenders play at it, see if we can get something off that.
Five of the 6 corners have gone Adelaide's way, and back post. Rising for the header was Elsey. He's scored in that kind of situation before.
Yeah, not quite sure if Jordan Elsey had more of a play on this, but if he did, he should have headed it back across the goal. I fancy that he fancied his chances from that narrow angle, and part of you can't criticise him for that. He's there and comfortable. That should have gone back across the goal.
If you just see from that picture, Hewitt Bell's got to be very careful because he's got the wind against him and it's going to curl in. He's coming very far off his line as his starting position. Once you start going backwards as a goalkeeper, it can become very difficult. So if you just look at that starting position there, like I said, because of the wind, I would suggest to him just to take a couple of yards back.
Beautiful ball from Baumjohann again, and diving in Elsey. And they say offside against Lafondra at the start of that move. Adelaide United fans crying out to see a line for the spot kick that was given. We'll get you that in a moment. Look forward to seeing it myself, seeing how tight it was. Caceres. Bobo. Not sure he wanted to go all the way back to Wilkinson, but that's what the breeze can do. Some of Baumjohann's passing has been off the scale tonight. Absolutely fantastic. Ready to play on this big stage after being out of the starting 11 for the last month and more. Barbarouses saying, where were you, boys? They've got in each other's way. The two strikers, and Kito has dragged back Luke Bratton there, somewhat cynically. Just the free kick.
From an Adelaide perspective, they need to push further forward in terms of when they start their position off defensively. They're far too deep. The wind's behind their backs. Here we go, here, hang on.
Bobo looked offside as his shot goes tamely wide. Bozza, you got that point?
I could understand their starting positions from a defensive perspective, Adelaide, in the first half, because they were playing against a stiff breeze and the ball got in behind. But now in this second half, especially when Sydney start to build up from the back, they need to be further forward. So then the midfield and strikers can push further forward. They're 2-0 down. They need to get a grip of this game. And they need to start basically doing what Carl Vitt said at the start of the game, which is start to really work as hard as they can. They've got 5 substitutes. And they should be saying to them, look, come on, do everything you can. If you can't do any more, we'll take you off. They're 2-0 down.
Jakobsen, the lefty, almost tempted Barbarouses into creating a turnover, just enough on it to find Harvey Lopez. Elsey looking for the feet of Urich. Slip at a key moment. He went shoulder to shoulder with Caceres. It breaks Sydney FC's way. Caceres clutching a hamstring in back play. Hopefully no damage done for him. The prospect of a grand final just a week away. Back into the mix. Is he thinking about going for goal here? Great use of the body from Javi Lopez. Past the hour mark we go. Carl Viet yet to summons any of those substitutes from behind the goal. Look at that spin on the ball. It bamboozled a couple. Elsie thumps it clear.
And I think this is where it's time for Toure, because these shanked clearances, whatever, you need a greyhound to chase down the ball. He's obviously more than that. He's a very talented player, but the speed that he can bring into these transition moments can be a catalyst for Adelaide.
Who are you taking off?
Well, it depends on how Stefan Mork's travelling. He's playing well, but he's often not lasted the 90. I don't think Carl Viet will be looking to open up the base of his midfield necessarily.
Well, he got the call. You saw him getting encouragement as we showed Mo Toure heading back towards the bench, and he's ready to come on.
And he'll be coming on for Ryan Kiddo.
Here's Strain. Little flick in behind, so Stefan Mork done no favours by that pass. And that change will be made now. So the teenager who in the record books as the youngest ever scorer in A-League history is a 15-year-old. Replaces Ryan Kiddo.
It's an interesting one because Lopez is on the yellow card for the penalty. And I wonder if Carl Viet was thinking about putting Kiddo back at left fullback. Obviously not. Or if he did, he dismissed the thought pretty quickly. Answer my own question, but that one fascinates me because Kiddo's speed could remain useful. And Lopez is exposed because of that yellow card and doesn't have the same speed up against Costa Barbarouses, who's been on fire tonight.
Here he is, straight into the action, getting the better of Rattray, but Bratton came across and barged him over, in the opinion of the referee.
Yeah, slightly from behind, I agree with the ref. Beautiful turn from Mohamed Toure. Wonderful technique, great explosive burst out of the box, and slightly from behind Luke Bratton. And this is a good distance with the wind behind. Juric will fancy himself.
If you could ask for a free kick in any spot attacking this end tonight, this would be it, wouldn't it?
That's around about it. That's around about the spot. But massive control is required, along with the power, because the wind, if it gusts, will pick it up.
Test potentially for Tom Hewitt-Bell. Tommy Juric has said, leave it to me, boys. Straight into the wall. Fired back in, and Adelaide United have pulled one back. What a strike from Wande. 2-1 in the semi-final. Off the rebound, he only needed one touch to have the Red Army excited again.
Well, this is the sort of fortune that Adelaide need. The wall does its job. And I tell you what, this is one from Wande. Back of the net, no mistake. As clean a strike as you're likely to see on the half volley. Hewitt-Bell at full stretch and still with no chance.
And Mo Toure has made a difference. He earned that free kick. And off the rebound, Wande was able to dispatch. What are they looking at? VAR having a little look at potential of offside there, obscuring the keeper's view. I didn't see that initially on any of those replays. Carl Viet, shrug of the shoulders, and Adelaide United saying, let's get on with this. Chris Beath is the VAR, and he's telling Ali Fagani to come over and have a look at this. So
Stefan Mork, who strayed.
Is he affecting Tom Hewitt-Bell in any way here, Mark Bosnich?
No, he's not. Not from that angle. Not affecting him whatsoever. He looks about when I say he, I mean Stefan Mork looks about 1.5 meters away from his view. Let's have a look. No way. You see where he is, where he's ducking. He's ducking towards where Heward Bell is diving. You see there? Nowhere.
No, this has to stand. I'm with you, Bozza. That's going in from the moment it left the boot. That hasn't obstructed his view at all. He had a clean view of the ball. It's just lucky it didn't take Stefan Mork's head off.
Well, surely the only thing that can take it away is if it touched Stefan Mork. Ali Fagani has said to Chris Beath, thanks for your input, mate, but the goal stands.
100%. 100% right.
And there was also a debate if one day didn't smash that in, whether an arm had been used by Sydney FC to block the initial shot from Tommy Juric. But after a significant delay that hopefully will be added on at the end of this game, it's back to 2-1 and it's game on.
But it's certainly the goal Adelaide deserve on balance. They've had plenty of exciting chances on goal, and what a fine effort from one day.
And like you said as well, Speedy, game on. And how important is that save, that penalty save from Delianov look now?
A young man hoping to go to the Olympics next month. And that will sit well with the selectors, no doubt. The ability to come up with a save like that on a big stage. Think back to Adelaide United in the final a couple of years ago against the Perth Glory. A 3-3 it was, and then all those spot kicks. All those saves as well. Could we yet have that drama tonight? There's still a quarter of the regulation time to go. Warland utilising the back heel. Takes some guts. So they score again in an away game. Adelaide United for the 11th time in a row. Toure again. His touch just allowed Rattray back into the equation. That clearance chopped off by Javi Lopez. He's the goal scorer. Those two Spaniards signed one-year contract extensions recently. Sydney FC dropping really deep here. And Halloran to Juric. Slick feet. Javi Lopez bends it in. Juric with the header, tipped over by Heward Bell. Sprung to life to make a very important save.
That's a wonderful little delivery from Javi Lopez. And into the traffic, Tommy Juric does beautifully. In between defenders, read the flight of it magnificently and forced some heroics from Heward Bell.
Now the outswinger. And Sydney FC see off the threat this time. Barbarouses looking for teammates. King thrusts it forward. One out here, Ryan Strain. Judged it perfectly.
It's a good period for Adelaide. They really got Sydney pinned back now.
Toure sets off but won't quite track it down. Let's have a look back at the offside against Barbarouses that became onside. Just to clarify this one. A long time ago now, so the arm, of course, not really a factor, so he's kept onside by the outstretched boot of Elsey, but Delianov saved the spot kick anyway.
Great effort from Stefan Mork, flying in there to keep Sydney pinned back.
And speaking about saves as well, we're talking about Adelaide maybe testing Heward Bell a little bit more, especially in that first half. Well, they've tested him in the second half, and that was an outstanding save. He's going to have a lot more of that to do, and Sydney have just got to make sure that they don't get into the habit of dropping too deep. It's far too early in the game to close up shop and thinking that 2-1's going to be enough. If they do that, And they might find that tonight might go on a lot longer than we thought it would do at half-time.
Caceres rode through a challenge of Mork, who's struggling to go with him. The Adelaide United skipper. Lafondra was desperate to stay onside, wrong-footed in the end by Baumjohann. Where do you stand on the psychology of taking a spot kick twice in a final, Andy?
The same player. Player's confident. They go with the leader.
And then the mind games with the goalkeeper. Am I going the same way or am I going a different way? And in the end, he went the same way. And the old scissor, paper, rock. Delianov might be deadly at that. As Bratton sweeps up again as Tommy Juric was about to enter the area.
Carl Viet and Ross Aloisi made a change, which is a dream change, if you like, for any manager, by bringing on Mo Toure. Immediate effect, won that free kick. And now I'm looking over at the other bench thinking to myself, I'm watching Sydney slowly lose control a little bit of the midfield. And maybe Stephen Corrick and Robbie Stant should be thinking the same about making the change to get some fresh legs on.
But it is an inexperienced bench. We've often talked about how deep they are, Sydney FC. But when you look at that bench now, there's not a whole lot of experience, and Steve Corica might stick with this 11 for a while yet. And he had a couple of cracks at it, but couldn't find a way past.
No, that's
young King.
Unfortunate for Adelaide and Ben Halloran. The first one doesn't work for you, and then let's see if you can make something more of the second. Keeping in mind that the players have already reacted to your first effort. You bang the ball straight back in. Usually that's advantage to the defender. And with this ascendancy from Adelaide, got themselves back to 2-1, have dominated the match since then, and they've got to make that dominance tell. They've tested Heward Bell once, tellingly. It was a great save off the Tommy Juric header. But Adelaide need to put more pressure on, direct pressure on Adelaide's goal with this general dominance they're enjoying at the moment.
What an athlete this guy is. Mo Toure tried to take on Wilkinson, who's seen every trick in the book before, and was ready for that one.
Wilco already, he'd given himself a bit of start too. He was at full stride about 3 metres earlier, thinking that if Mo Toure hits the afterburners, I might be in a bit of trouble here.
Turned 17 in March, Mo Toure. Oh, Wilkinson right over the top of Tommy Juric, who stayed down here, and the referee didn't give the spot kick initially. VAR having another look as Heward Bell snaffles that one, but Juric is staying down. Will stop play now due to a head injury. Andy Harper, how'd you see that first time?
Well, I saw that was rather exuberant defending from Alex Wilkinson. Into the back over the top. That's at halfway, it's a foul. Tommy Juric is just taken out over the back. Now, is it a clear and obvious error? I'm not going to go that far. But if the ref says, hang on a minute, we're not having that, and gives the penalty, I don't think that's a clear and obvious error by decision either. It was one of those situations clearly in the grey area, but Alex Wilkinson really tripping on a fine line there.
So Stefan Mork for dissent, presumably after seeing those replays, asking why the spot kick wasn't given. And the VAR still checking it out. Will they let Ali Fagani come over again and see the replays? Chris Beath has been heavily involved in the VAR centre tonight. He might just be the grand final ref next week. And as Andy Harper alluded to, not a clear and obvious error, so we restart with the drop ball. And Sydney FC pick up the second ball here. Guile in the pass from Bobo for Barbarouses in behind. And Jakobsen.
And this is one of the issues with Harvey Lopez. Saw it sort of last week towards the end of the match against Brisbane. The positive of his play in the team, he's been delivering some beautiful service into the Adelaide attacking penalty area. But he's been picked off as the left fullback now. Barbarouses in behind has been causing all sorts of trouble.
Johan to bend it away. First corner in a while for Sydney FC. It struck the arm there, and it didn't touch anyone else on the way over. Mo Toure, they appealed for a spot kick, the Sydney FC players. So many talking points tonight. We've got another one here. As Caceres works the 1-2. Flicks off Elsie and goes a long way outside of that penalty area. Now Johan. Blocked off by Javi Lopez. What a ball. Remarkable. And Delianov makes the save at his near post. Alex Johan just added to the highlight reel of freakish passes.
And Barbarouses had Bobo free and square. Here's Al-Hassan Toure as he used the arm to control the ball. It's come at him from close range.
Maybe there was a deflection before it got to him. As Johan bends it away again. Wilkinson rose. Caceres! Just wide by about a metre of that near post as he looked at it.
Yeah. And worryingly and tellingly for Adelaide, their speed to restart the match was slower than Sydney's speed of recovery to defend the goal kick that was going to come, but isn't now because of the substitution. So Sydney win that day as well.
Well, at the moment, Bobo has the winner to his name for that strike just before half-time, but he'll play no further part. It's a standing ovation for the number 9 in many parts here at Congra. He hopes his teammates can finish off the job and book that grand final spot. Patrick Wood, another teenager, brought off the bench into this occasion. And throughout the season, more than 100 players out of 300 have been under the age of 21. It's been a breakout season on that front in the A-League. And what a joy it has been to watch. Just wrong-footed. Stefan Morg by the pass from Juric. Terrific stretch by Wande. Held up Luke Bratton. There are players slipping all over the place. Fatigue setting in. And the flag staying down. Oh, he slipped as well. Patrick Wood just on. And in the end gave away the free kick. And Adelaide United fans breathe a huge sigh of relief.
Well, no indication of offside either. Well, I thought Wood had probably strayed.
Stefan Mork is off. And Nyongabiri with the X factor onto that right wing now. He tells Ben Halloran to go into the playmaker role. And number 10 spot behind Tommy Juric.
Well, that front part of the field now for Adelaide on counter-attack. Tommy Juric, who's a great target, and 3 speedsters in or around him. Nyongabiri, Mo Toure. Great touch.
Nyongabiri's first touch was delightful. Halloran overlapped in the end and tried to tee it up. Toure rises, so too does Juric. The defensive work of Retray was enough.
Never quite settled for Tommy. It's just dropped to the back post beautifully by Ben Halloran.
Jakobsen has his hands full with the speed of Patrick Wood off the bench. Johan rode through a challenge. Barbarouses couldn't run onto it. Didn't quite link up the same way they did earlier for that quite remarkable pass. Not sure how Johan sees some of the angles he does. Such an artist on the ball, and you don't see him run out the 90 minutes too often. Wait and see whether Steve Corica asks him to do that. 10 minutes of the 90 to go. And then a big chunk of stoppage time Still plenty of time, Adelaide United fans, to cheer on a famous comeback here. And they're still dreaming about the prospect of hosting a grand final if things go their way over the next 24 hours. This pass from Baumio and something else.
Well, he's given plenty of those tonight. And that was just before Babou was substituted. He might have, well, he would have helped himself to a brace had Costa squared that ball.
Harry van der Sar getting ready for Sydney FC. Strain. Dorigo just didn't get hold of it as he might have liked. Did that strike the arm of Wood? Referee let it go, and Patrick Wood headed off at the pass by Jakobsen impressively. Halloran, speed an issue here. Oh, Juric in the middle. It was out off Wilkinson, who somehow got the right side of Juric in the end.
Yeah, that's the advantage of the change. Good ones from Carl Viet, as he's got blinding speed across the front line now. This is Halloran nominally playing in that Stefan Walk attacking midfielder position, but breaking wide. Nyongabiri fed him. Tommy Juric, a great target in and around the 6 yards box, as we've seen. They're fighting back, Adelaide.
Elsie! Header on target, but comfortable for Heward Bell. Put everything into that clearance as well there, Heward Bell, and strong work by Elsie. Fondra going down, clutching his head. The referee not stopping play yet.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Now he will.
It wasn't a free kick. It wasn't a penalty on Wilkinson. Now it's not a free kick on Elsie. Similar challenges. Consistency from the ref.
So a quick check on the welfare of Adam Lafondra. Sydney FC ready to make another change. And Alex Baumjohann will not see out the 90. Played his part tonight, though, after replacing the injured Milos Ninkovic. Leads the balls into the penalty area count tonight. Playing every game like it could be his last down under. And opens the door here for Harry van der Sar to potentially play in an attacking role here. He's a versatile player, Harry van der Sar. We've seen him play as a right back or in midfield. Scored goals, of course, including off the bench most recently against Brisbane. As that cross is overhit. Van der Sar was still getting across there to attend to his defensive duties. But Mark Bosnich, this is set up incredibly well for a frantic last 10 minutes or so.
That it is, Brenton. And I said at half-time a special word for Costa Barbarouses because of the amount of stick that he'd come under this season. I thought he was exceptional in the first half. But another special word must go to Alexander Baumjohann. He was excellent tonight. A lot of pressure on him. When we got to the ground, we found out that Milos Ninkovic would not be playing. And he really took that responsibility upon himself, and I thought he was outstanding all night. But like you said, there's about 10 or so minutes to go, depending on how long they go for. And it looks as though Sydney are happy just to sit back and to hit on the transition. So it's going to be nervous times for Sydney's bench.
One day scored a super goal to bring the Reds right back into it. Halloran around Rattray now and barged over by Barbarouses. Great spot this to whip it in and get some tail on. It's an angle that can be so difficult for goalkeepers as well. The prospect of swinging in towards that back post, which will no doubt be the target for one day here. Dorigo just wording him up on that, perhaps.
He needs to have more people in the wall there, in my opinion, with his wind.
He's gone with just one. Robbie Stanton asking for another player to come across, I think. He's in charge of set pieces, the Sydney FC assistant. One day, straight towards the goalkeeper. So, with confidence, he put one in the wall. Why would you have gone with more, Bozza?
I think that's why you saw Robbie Stanton screaming. It was because of the wind, mainly. If it wasn't windy like this, I would say okay. But a really good take, to say, by Heward Bell, who has been excellent under pressure tonight. It must be said, that wonderful save from Tommy Juric. And with this wind, with the high balls, he's dealt with them so far very well. But in that particular instance, yeah, that was a risk.
Well, it's good momentum, this, for Adelaide. Sydney obviously will remain dangerous on the counter-attack. Paddy Wood's already shown how quick he is across the ground. But Adelaide virtually camped in Sydney's half now. If they can just get a sequence of good deliveries into the box to keep Sydney honest, keep them nervous, see if they can wear them down mentally, lock them in as well when they do lose possession, with efforts like that from Nyongabiri. But they don't want to get to the end of this match and wish they'd got service into the box more frequently. Adelaide, they just need to take the moments that are there for them and just pepper the Sydney penalty area.
Well, whichever team wins will be cheering on Macarthur FC tomorrow, because that would give them a home grand final, of course, next weekend. Melbourne City against the Bulls tomorrow at this venue. Melbourne City losing hosting rights due to the COVID protocols this weekend. Hopefully not next if they win tomorrow. Melbourne City.
And a special word for this crowd here. You see the Cove there and the rest of the Sydney crowd. Like, as we've been talking about all night, it's not great conditions to be a spectator outside tonight, but they've been out in force, singing, and they're trying to bring their boys home now. They've been outstanding.
Jakobsen. Toure has proved difficult to contain. Retray might have gotten away with one as Toure went down. Clever by Wood. He bent his run and now he's away. Goal side of Elsie. He's won out here, Patrick Wood. Little stumble. He's around his man, looking for a teammate, and he missed the tap in. Harry van der Sarg went right foot, and the opportunity went begging. Patrick Wood, magnificent. That could have sealed it for Sydney FC. So unselfish as well after doing the hard work and overcoming that slip of his again. Adelaide United hanging on just.
Well, that's just the latest in the Paddy Wood catalogue. Just brilliant power across the ground, carrying the ball so comfortably. Awareness at the end of it. Regains his feet, sets up the chance. Corner of the eye, he sees his youth team teammate. And the ball eludes a Sydney player. Unbelievably, Van der Sarg can't find a way to make it three and seal it.
Has that replay shown a little touch off Jakobsen that might have confused the issue for Van der Sarg, perhaps?
Who we need to say, or I feel I need to say, of Michael Jakobsen has just been fantastic tonight for Adelaide. And the big toenail he got onto that one has kept his team alive, but he has just been superb at the back for the Reds.
Very clever young man, Patrick Wood. He was bending the run inside his own half, so couldn't be offside, and then did this.
Well, the game's still in the balance, and not because of the efforts of Paddy Wood. That was fantastic. One bounce of the ball, one bit of luck, one moment of magic.
Looks like, gentlemen, we're going to have 5 minutes of added on. That's 5 minutes of added on.
Will that be enough for the Reds to force extra time? Toure, stunning chest control in amongst a couple of opponents. And Dorigo crowded out of it. Caceres tries to set up the counter-attack with brilliant skill again. Worked his way around one day. Picks up the fresh man, Van der Sar. Still Harry Van der Sar. Work it wide to Barbarouses. They found an extra minute since Bozza heard 5. I think 6 is the right number. The one it should be after all of those VAR checks and whatnot in this second half. Nicely worked between Rattray and Barbarouses. The right back right on the front foot here with a 2-1 lead, and he turns the corner, Rattray, and earns the corner.
How good's that from Paolo Rattray? Mohamed Toure, who just copped a verbal from his coach for just clocking off defensively, has now been told to go under halfway, anticipate a breakaway. With great quality from Paolo Rattray here. Soaking up time when Sydney do get round to taking the corner. Adelaide's defence will be under pressure again.
And what about the shot of the Joe Marsden medalist Milos Nikovic, hoping his team can put him into another grand final? He should be right for that as well next Saturday. Bratton into the area. Tried to sell Jakobsen. Or rather Harvey Lopez with the eyes. Adelaide United stood up defensively again. Inside the final 5 minutes. The Red Army hoping for a famous late equaliser. Barbarouses able to work it to Bratton somehow. King, who set up the match winner as it stands for Bobo. Look at that effort from Wood, closing down Harvey Lopez. And they're a third of the way through stoppage time. Ross Aloisi with some subtle adjustments. The assistant linked with Celtic and Ange Postecoglou this week. Trying to get more players forward here. It could open up more space for Wood. Flag stays down again for the teenager. He might do it all himself this time. No, just wide from Patrick Wood. So you're telling me there's still a chance? Adelaide United still just 1 goal away from forcing half an hour more.
Well, they've just lost their cool a little bit, Adelaide. Last 2 efforts in possession they've squandered. Jordan Elsey mishitting that cross or pass, and Ryan Strain before it. He just goes without saying, but these last moments, you can't afford to let Sydney off. You've really got to relax, but concentrate. Move the ball into the next line. Get the ball into the penalty area. Put Sydney under pressure. You just need one bounce, one big toe, one effort, one little miracle from the Reds.
Flicked on, no one getting on the end of things. Stuart Bell told to take his time. Lovely little layoff from Lafondra. Well, he gave it straight back. One day around the corner finds Toure. A chance to run at Wilkinson. Touch got away from him. Delianov goes long, and they were bludgeoning getting back on side there, the Reds. Van der Sar. Is Patrick Wood ready to go again? Pass won't stay in for him this time. Referee stopping play. Carl Beard wants to know why. 90 seconds of the 6 added minutes to go. The ball hits the referee, and we'll get a drop ball. And it'll go the way of Adelaide United, will it?
The way of Adelaide, because there was a touch in the challenge. The last touch of Adelaide, is it one of those? It looks like it. Looked like it was pretty emphatically a Sydney ball for all intents and purposes.
So One Day hits that bouncing ball. chance here. Juric laid it off to Toure. Back post. Jakobsen, what can he do on his left foot? One day back in there. Little touch. Strain has never scored an A-League goal. Toure puts it into the cove. In fact, it cleared them. It's gone out of the stadium when he wanted to find the roof of the net.
Unfortunate for the teenager. Came to him quickly. That was the chance to level it. Unfortunately, it's ended up at St George Private Hospital.
Will there be enough time to fashion one last chance here? Caceres goes with the bicycle kick at this stage. The substitutes playing ball boy. Sydney FC will get their shot at the historic three-peat. They're into a 5th grand final in the past 7 years and hold off a brave Adelaide United. A phenomenal semi-final. So many talking points tonight. The spot kicks for Sydney FC. One of those that Delianov saved to keep his team in the game. A superb goal from One Day gave them hope. But in the end, it's goals from Lafondra and Bobo that secure the passage through to another decider for the Sky Blues. They're into the grand final next Saturday against either Melbourne City or Macarthur FC. Full time tonight, Sydney FC 2, Adelaide United 1.
Thank you, Andy Harper, and thank you, Brenton Speed, for that call. And I'll be back tomorrow for the call again down here pitch side. It's electric, as you'd expect. Mark Bosnich and Robbie Slater. Boz is covering us with the canopy, thankfully, down here. There's a little bit of rain about, but there's a lot of happy people, a lot of relieved people as well, gents.
Yeah, I would say more happy than relieved. You have to say a really professional performance from Sydney FC, wheeled on by this magnificent crowd. And what an achievement there for that man, Stephen Corica. You know, he took over this team coming off the back of a very successful run, and it's always very, very difficult. But the last 3 years, he's finished second, first and second in the regular season, and now his 3rd grand final on the trot. What a manager, what a team, and what a club. Congratulations to them.
And Adam Lafondra joins us right now, and there's one relieved. You said everyone's happy, Boz. I reckon this fella right here is a little bit relieved given the penalty situation, but well done, mate. You're through to another grand final. Exactly the reason you came back?
Yeah, of course. I wanted to help the boys get through to a little bit more silverware, make some history. I made us work for it in the end, showing how strong we are defensively by missing the pen and, giving them a glimmer of hope. And, I don't think the gaffer will thank me too much for that.
On the second pen, what were you thinking? Why did you go to the same side?
I don't know, I just thought take the mick and just, reverse it again, no luck. But, one of them where, you live and die by your decisions, and unfortunately, that was the wrong decision to do.
Well, fortunately, you got the other one.
Yeah, of course.
Boss has got rid of his now he's ready for his question.
The TV's going everywhere. It's all happening.
It's a little windy. Overall, on the night, was that your best, or are you going to need to significantly improve for next week? It's great that you're through to a grand final. I'm not trying to diminish that achievement, but overall on the night, how do you feel about it?
I thought we were average. I'm sure all the boys, we would have liked a bit more control on the ball. Obviously, I think if I make it 3-0, it's a totally different game, and obviously we don't invite the pressure on at the end, because obviously we have to 2-1 back to the wall, and we showed our defensive strength, which I think since I've been here at the club, we've always been very strong at the back, and
best defensive record.
Yeah, we've always been hard to break down.
And Adam, a young goalkeeper, an experienced goalkeeper, you and Bell in goal, he was excellent tonight.
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant since he's come back, and obviously Redders is out at the minute, obviously with quarantine, obviously, and the Aussie squad, and I think he stepped in magnificently.
Well, Adam, we'll leave it there, mate. I reckon when you get back to training next week, you've got a Kiwi and a Brazilian asking you about penalties for the grand final if needed.
No chance.
Nah, they can keep asking. They ain't getting them. No chance.
Well done, mate.
Congratulations.
Typical striker, Adam Lafondra. That's why he came back. You echo those sentiments, Robbie, about how Sydney feel about that one?
Look, I thought Adelaide were brave. They came back into, we knew after that penalty, when he misses that one to go 3-0, pretty much game over, Adelaide were going to come back, and they did, and they pushed, and they just fell a little bit short.
Well, this young man was excellent. Again, Joel King made left back his own. Well done, mate. Congratulations. through to a grand final. What's the buzz like at the moment? Is it a bit of relief or a bit of a buzz?
Yeah, it's a relief. I thought second half conceding that goal, we put us under pressure, but we dug deep and defended well, so I'm happy with the win.
Yeah, and you had a couple of games within the game because young Nyongabiri come on, and he's always a handful, but you had a great game tonight, mate.
Yeah, I thought first half was tough with Benny Halloran as well. He's really quick, so it was hard to do with him, and then second half, Nyongabiri was good as well, so all in all, it was a good game, and I'm glad we won.
And let's talk us through that first goal. Wonderful ball in from Caceres to you, but you as well, first-time ball. That was great. Did you see that eventuating? Because slowly but surely, your possession turned into progression, and you started your run. Yeah. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, well, I saw it coming from the right-hand side, so thought I'd make my running behind, and Cass put a great ball in, and lucky enough, I put it on the ground for Bobby, and he's done his job. So.
Last one. There's another one next week, obviously. Take us through what it's like having a guy like Alex Wilkinson next to you to help you through these initial stages of your professional career.
Yeah, it's great. On the field, it makes it so much easier for me. He tells me what to do every minute of the game, so it's playing next to him. It's a joy, and I love it. So
good stuff. Well done, mate.
Well done.
Yeah, watching you's been a joy this season as well. You've been outstanding.
Thanks, fellas.
No worries.
The seal of approval for Mark Bosnich as well. Joel King, he's up for the Young Player of the Year. You can see why after a performance like that.
Up for Player of the Year.
He's
Full
been
stop.
good as the Sydney FC fans await everyone down there. Joel King's got to do his last sprint down there to join their fans. It's just winning. Talk about winning becoming a habit. It's ingrained in this place at the moment.
Well, that's why I said what I said. You know, their record over the last 3 years has been absolutely outstanding. They've gone up to a different level, and that's why I say congratulations to them. They will know. The big one is now, next week, but they're also experienced enough to know you've got to enjoy these wins.
Yep.
Yeah, they can start thinking about that come Monday, but it's very, very important to enjoy themselves in front of these fantastic fans. And you saw the conditions. Everyone saw the conditions.
We're in the conditions.
Umbrella and all that, Robbie. But for them to come out in not good spectating conditions and support the team like they did, that last 5 minutes, they really willed that team on to a victory.
We are off to a quick break from Cogra. Sydney fans rejoice. Got another grand final to plan for. We'll hear from an Adelaide perspective after the break as well. Steve Corica, 3 years coaching in the A-League. He's getting ready for his third grand final. And Carl Beard will join us after the break. Adelaide were superb on the night themselves, just a little bit short. We'll get their perspective and plenty else after this live on Fox Sports.
What a goal. What a start. Crazy good. Game winner. Game winner. He bends it. He bends it through.
I've never seen a side more electric.
Welcome to the Sunday Ticket.
We're here to entertain.
And they are jumping for joy.
Great to have your company, as always, on a Sunday night.
Brilliant.
At Bet365, we're always innovating, creative. It's this constant pursuit of perfection that brought you Bet Builder, Match Live, alerts, and live streaming. It's the reason we're the world's favorite online betting company.
Gamble responsibly.
Oh, yum. Can I have some?
You want anything, babe?
Nah, I'm not hungry. Nah, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm not Funny. No, I'm not hungry. From the moment I laid eyes on you, this is what I said, I see it, and I like it, and I want it, yes I do.
At Australian Outdoor Living, we know how special home is. It's your piece of paradise where the best memories are made. Our quality outdoor home improvements bring your backyard dreams to life with custom patios, pergolas and verandas, premium artificial grass and stylish outdoor blinds. Put your home in hands you can trust. Australian Outdoor Living, bringing backyard dreams to life.
Australian Outdoor Living.
It was a Skype call back home. Nani just came out with it. Where is your beautiful hair gone?
Thanks, Nani.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley & Martin could help regrow your hair.
With a little help, we can make a big change. Now made from 100% recycled plastic.
Shishito, burrito, roti for fried cheese, so pork chop, drink, pop, sour sop, hot pot, scallop, kiba. Alright. Brussels sprout, sauerkraut, fresh caught trout, alfalfa sprout, or your local favorites. Delivered DoorDash, every flavor welcome.
Here's Fletch. Bring it home, big guy.
The irresistible smell of juicy, tender chicken. Get in there, Brian.
So if you're starting your project, you can always pop into Bunnings. We definitely make DIY easier for anyone from the beginner all the way to the expert.
So you can tackle those projects. The thing you thought might be a little too hard, we can show you how to do it.
Most of the customers that come in here, it is about home improvement and it is a personal journey for a lot of customers, so it's great to be a part of that journey with them. You get a lot of great satisfaction out of seeing them achieve their goals.
Start setting your own goals for your own DIY projects at home.
Welcome back, Sydney FC are through to yet another A-League Grand Final. 2-0 up against Adelaide United after two first-half goals, a penalty to Adam Lafondra, a beautifully worked move finished off by Bobo, who loved that and let Tommy Urich know about it as well after what Tommy Urich said last week about coming to Sydney and getting a result against the reigning champions. They couldn't, they just fell short, the Reds, and joining us right now is a happy coach, Steve Corica, through to a third straight Grand Final. Congratulations. That's some achievement, mate. Personally, I know it's all about the team, but personally, that is amazing. Something to be extremely proud of, are you?
Yeah, of course, I'm very proud of it. But like you said, it's a team. It's the players, the staff, everyone in the back room. We've all done it. So I'm really proud of everyone. Looking forward to another Grand Final. It's the boys dug deep, I think, in that second half. Obviously, the conditions weren't great. In the second half, we couldn't get out of our half a little bit. We had chances though to finish it off well and truly with Adam's penalty, maybe a couple other ones towards the end of the game. But I'm just happy to be in another grand final and really proud of the boys.
And when they got one back, 2-1, were thoughts going back to Leichhardt Oval a little bit when they came back from 2-0 down?
Yeah, it was definitely. And they had a couple of chances as well. So yeah, definitely. That was coming back to me, and we didn't want to go to extra time. Yeah. So I'm really happy that we got through in 98 minutes or whatever it was.
And Stephen, how did you approach this game in terms of you and Robbie with your tactics this week? What was the focus on?
Well, we did well against them in Adelaide, and we continued with that approach. We wanted to get in behind them as well. Costa, I thought, was excellent tonight, and in them wide areas, Alex as well. Front two, obviously, are both very dangerous and can score goals, and it's great to have them both on the pitch at the same time. So.
And the other question I wanted to ask about your goalkeeper, such an important position, Thomas Hewitt-Bell, relatively inexperienced in such conditions. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, he was again. He played really well in his first game in Brisbane, made some excellent saves for us, and I thought he was really good tonight as well. Pulled off a couple of saves, a couple of went straight to him as well, but he's done really well in 2 games.
And Milos Ninkovic, obviously not starting tonight with a calf problem. How's he looking for in 6 days' time or 7 days' time?
I think he'll go close. I think, he was touch and go for this game. I'm hoping by next week he should be okay. Whether he starts now after that performance from the boys, I'm not sure. We might put him on the bench.
When I see him, I'm going to say I really missed you today.
Do you replicate everything you've done the last two in terms of preparation, or is it a little different this year, given we've got a COVID situation in Sydney? I don't know what the boys in Bondi are going to do, and you've got another semi-final here to analyse, probably come out tomorrow. And watch
obviously the most important thing was winning tonight. Now we can sit back, watch the game tomorrow, and obviously plan for the final again and see where it is.
Big question is, do you come out tomorrow with the polar bears and penguins, or do you stay in the nice heating at home?
Good point. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what the family's up to. I think.
Fair enough. Well, point is, you've got another game to plan for, and congratulations on that third straight grand final. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Steve Corica, outstanding record. Let's, boys, touch on, before we hear from Carl Vet, Adelaide United, do they look back? How much regret do they look back on tonight, or do they say, look, we emptied the tank against the two-time champions?
I would be looking upon it with a lot of regret, because like I said before the game, the fact that there were 3 Socceroos out, and then when I get to the ground and I'm an Adelaide player and I see Milos Ninkovic is out as well, I'm thinking, if we've ever got a massive opportunity to pull off an upset win, which it would have been against the champions, it's tonight. And I think there were times during that game where they didn't empty the tank like they should have done. One of those times I thought was at the beginning of the second half, and also towards the end of the first half. They paid for it towards the end of the first half, and they nearly did, except for Delianov making that wonderful save at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, obviously when you lose a game, you always look back on what you could have done and what you didn't do well in certain periods. But look, I think they gave it a pretty good whack. They weren't favourites up in Brisbane. They went up and won and had a great first half and hung on to qualify here. Difficult to do it on the road. And against a team like Sydney, with the best defence in the league, and given that they'd only lost 1 in 13, they were in pretty good form. So, look, I think they gave it a good shake. But, of course, when you lose, there's always a regret.
Yeah, no Yangi, no Goodwin. Injuries all the way through really hurt Adelaide United with some of their players that weren't available for extended periods of time, maybe forcing them to come to and play here instead of having a home final.
Look, they should still be very proud, in my opinion, of the season that they've had. A lot of young players, a manager in his first full season, and you have to say, getting to the semi-final and playing the way they gave us a lot of joy this season. They should be very, very proud and look to build upon this for next season.
Well, as we're having a look at these chances for Adelaide United, we'll go over to Andy Harper, who's standing by with Carl Viet, who can touch on some of the chances first up and how much regret is coursing through the veins of the coach, Andy Harper.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Adam. I am, as you say, joined by losing coach Carl Viet. Carl, how do you view this season now? As one that got away, or do you look back at pride with the progress that, from the outside at least, it looks like Adelaide's made?
I'd say both, a bit of both. Disappointing for the boys. They've had a tremendous season this year. They gave everything tonight, and we just didn't get those little bits of luck at important times in the game tonight to get a result.
You said coming into the game, in fact, to us last week after you'd beaten Brisbane, that you thought Sydney were the best team in the comp. Do you hold that view after just getting beaten by them now?
Yeah, I've always said that all season. I truly believe they're the best team in the competition. They don't need many opportunities, and they punish you with the limited opportunities that they get. They only need half the opportunities that you need, because they're going to punish you on them. So and they did that again tonight.
And you had some great moments in this game tonight. You got yourselves back into it from 2-0 down and then back to 2-1. And so then you didn't really put Sydney's goal under consistent pressure. Was that something that was irritating you, frustrating you in the technical area?
Yeah, look, it was disappointing. We spoke at half-time that we believed that would get back into the game and to use the wind and the ground and to shoot as much as we could at the goals. But, full credit to Sydney. They defended exceptionally well and made it very difficult for us.
So we think back a year ago, not a calendar year ago, but at the end of last season, and the competition was completed in the hub, and you came in on an interim basis. Gertjan Verbeek decided not to resume his job with Adelaide, and you finished in a blaze of glory, didn't make the finals, got the job full time. Now, how do you assess your own growth as a young Australian coach, and what are you looking forward to doing next season?
Yeah, look, it's been a great learning curve for me this year. To bring the team to the style of football that I want to play as a manager, and it's just next year we'll build on that, and we've given quite a few of the younger boys a little bit of a sniff this year, and next year we'll look to give them a lot more game time.
Any particular parts of the field you're at this point looking to bolster in the off-season for the next campaign?
Yeah, look, we'd like to strengthen defensively, and would also, the only thing sort of really missing for us is a creative player in the middle of the park, and if we can get that creative player in the middle of the park, then I think we can improve on what we've done this year.
Well, Carl, thanks for your time. Thanks for a very entertaining season and for representing your city, Adelaide, with this football club so very, very well.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, very hard to disagree with that summation from Andy Harper at the end there. Adelaide United are a club going in the right direction.
Oh, there's no doubt about that whatsoever. And look, during the restart, it was very, very hard to assess because it was only a short period, but you had the sense and the feeling that something special was gathering. We saw the good young players. And this season, I think Carl Viet and Ross Aloisi and the rest of his staff, Eugene Galekovic, everyone can take a lot of credit. Bruce Gide, who will be departing as well, has played a big part in that. And all those players I just mentioned, plus more, they can all hold their heads up very, very high. They won't feel like that at this moment in time, but on reflection, they can be very proud, and they just got to build on that for next season.
Off to a quick break here from Cogra. We'll have more reaction from the Sydney FC dressing room and a take from the boys about what we're going to see tomorrow. Who's going to play Sydney FC in the grand final? Is it going to be in Sydney against Macarthur FC or Melbourne? Fingers crossed if Melbourne City do get through against City. Back in a moment.
At Bet365, the action never stops. Our soccer early payout is now available on multis. Simply place a pre-match bet on the full-time result. If your team leads by 2 goals at any stage, we'll settle your bet as a winner, even if your team fails to win. We're the world's favourite betting company for many reasons. Our early payout is just one of them. Gamble responsibly.
With a little help, we can make a big change. Now made from 100% recycled plastic.
My barber was fussing with my hair, trying to hide the thinning bits, and he says to me, maybe we should shave it all off. That was my turning point.
Reached your turning point? The doctors at Ashley and Martin could help regrow your hair.
Australia, your country needs you. To take a holiday.
For Australia.
Hit the cities and see incredible stuff.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing, right?
Oh, okay. You sure you know what you're doing?
Honey, I've got the hat. Romance ahoy.
Watch out for the...
Do stuff you've never done before. Like order one of these.
You order those all the time.
What? No, Dad. I'm good. I'm just soaking in the view. I mean, I thought it was good from the bottom. It's time to get back out there. And there. And there. Oh, and there. Love that. Because the holiday here this year is just what Australia needs. Oh, stop. I'm doing the line. Sorry.
You come into Bunnings, you walk around, there's so many different products here. It just sparks ideas for people. They come in wanting something, but they go out with a lot more ideas and they make it happen. I think that's what this place is about.
When you set a goal for your home, you can really achieve a lot.
We just make it as easy for our customers as we can.
If you need any help, Bunnings are always here to help. So in-store, online, on the phone, we're here in any way you need us.
And we can go and help take that challenge to go and do something on your own.
You can kick off your home projects at Bunnings. Shop at Bunnings wherever you are, whenever you want.
Well, fellas, here we are.
Who are you?
I'm nobody. I came for the show.
Rent it now on Foxtel Store.
Welcome back, Sydney FC, into another grand final. We're back to wrap things up here at Cogra. Adam Lafondra scored one penalty, missed, strangely, another penalty, which would have put Sydney FC up 3-0 at that stage. Adelaide came roaring back into the contest, but in the end just fell short. So Adelaide United can look back with a bit of fondness about the season, but about tonight, a little bit of regret. Sydney FC through to next Saturday night's grand final. Who are they going to play? We'll find out tomorrow at this very ground. Melbourne City taking on Macarthur FC. Let's get some more reaction. Here's Luke Bratton in the rooms with Andy Harper.
Lukey Bratton. Well, it's gone deathly quiet in here. And I was expecting a bit more acadacca, a little less boy band. Is this normally what goes on in here on a winning night?
The music's terrible because our head physio, he's the DJ, and yeah, it's pretty average.
It's a great performance tonight. Adelaide gave you a real test, had a couple of particularly early on, inside the first minute, they might have put you right back on your heels. Did that rock you guys at all?
No, I think, we spoke about the first 10, 15. When we played them there, we dominated the whole game, but we knew that this was going to be different. We just tried to weather the storm, and then, our quality took over.
And then what about towards the end? They got back to 2-1. It might have blown out to 3-0 and game over, but it got back to 2-1. They had a lot of possession. Didn't really threaten Tom's goal terribly much, but he did make one great save off Tommy Juric. As one of the senior players, how did you sort of manage that situation for your team and see your way through it?
I knew that they were going to have a period, especially with the wind as well. But we're a pretty experienced group. There's some young boys in the team that have come in, and Tommy's been great as well. And like you said, that was a great save for him. So just extremely happy to get to another big dance, and just proud of the boys.
You're holding it together well. There are a lot of young boys, a lot of very immature older boys in here too. I feel happy to say. Now, I know tomorrow's game comes and goes, and you're not going to say which one necessarily you think might win, but who do you want to beat in the grand final more?
It doesn't matter, mate. It doesn't matter.
You have equal antipathy to both, Macarthur and Melbourne City?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We don't care who it is, it's just we concentrate on ourselves, and yeah.
What about Milos Ninkovic between now and next week? You did very, very well without him. What's your sense for this week coming up to grand final, whether he might be ready or not?
Yeah, big chance. I don't think it's too bad. I just don't think he likes playing on this pitch here. But he's a special player, and we're a great team without him. But we've got players to fill in if he's not there. So it's we'll see how he goes during the week.
Great performance tonight, and a great performance in very, very difficult circumstances here, Luke Bratton. Thanks a lot.
Cheers. I just want to say, Amaya, go to bed. It's past your bedtime.
That's his firstborn, the little girl that doesn't stop talking of Luke Bratton. Robbie, tomorrow, here, Macarthur, elite away performance in a cup-like game against Central Coast last week. More of the same tomorrow. Can they get close, if not usurp what Melbourne City will throw at them?
Yeah, look, I think they can. I think it's going to be very tight, and they'll take a lot of confidence from last week, of course. And up against Melbourne City, as we know, without Metcalf, without Curtis Good, and the Golden Boot winner, Jamie McLaren. So they're three big losses. They've still got other players in a boot. Is he going to play? Will he start? So a lot of question marks around that. Melbourne City are a fantastic side, even without those three players. But I think it evens it out for Macarthur.
And Bozza, how do you see this one?
Pretty similar to what Robbie said. I mean, let's not forget, Macarthur have got the best array, or have had the best array record out of all the teams this season. And they're a far better team away from home than they are at home. Now, a lot of people will turn around and say, we're not, they are not technically at home. They're going to be here at the Netstrata Jubilee. But if there's the amount of fans that will come here, the majority will be Macarthur fans. In terms of Melbourne City, Robbie made the very, very good point about the missing three players. They're a fantastic side, though. There's no doubt about it. But I did see them here against Newcastle, and this is why I think what Robbie said, and I'm going to add another one to it, Roston Griffiths as well. We don't know about his fitness, but him in the boot, when they came off, Newcastle actually came back into the game and looked as though they could go on and win it. So the bit between the teeth, so to speak, will be with Melbourne City, because they'll feel a little bit aggrieved the fact that they have to travel up and they can't have a home semi-final.
And it is a shame, though.
Yeah,
as well.
Very much so. So, look, I think Melbourne City will be favourites, but is there ever an opportunity to beat them, it will be tomorrow for Macarthur.
And we'll be on air here from 3:30 Eastern. You're going to stay here, boss? You pitch a tent out the back? Or?
No, not yet.
I think that umbrella was all nearly killed someone over there.
Nearly killed
all the wind.
Nearly killed all of us.
Yeah, put the umbrella up and just float home that way, boss. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll see you here tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Robbie.
Yeah, and look, commiserations to Adelaide. They had a fantastic season. Carl Vett, one of those new Aussie coaches on the block here for a while.
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Sydney.
Yeah, they're through to a third straight grand final. Can they do what no other A-League club has done ever before? Become three-time back-to-back champions, back-to-back-to-back, if you like. They got it done only just here against Adelaide United, who were good fun all throughout the season. But we look forward to tomorrow to find out who Sydney FC will play in the grand final.
This has been a Fox Sports production.
Young Rock. Watch Sunday 6:30 on Fox 8 or on demand.
people in the future who need us.
That'll happen here.
Hasn't happened yet. I want my body back. Come and get it. All of you are dangerous. That's why you're here.
I don't think you know what a bad day is. But you're gonna find out.
Foxtel Movies. Bring the cinema experience home. Watch on demand.
There's a girl. She's in trouble. I stepped in.
Stepped in?
More like punched and kicked.
You don't want to start with me.
You're a kung fu butt-kicking hero? It's what I've been doing the last 3 years.
Do you know how much danger this puts our family in? This is what I meant to do.
You basically walked on air.
It was physics. Kung Fu. Thursdays, 8:30 on Fox 8. Or watch on demand.
Oh my God. Here we go.
The cast of Friends.
This is from the one where everyone finds out.
Oh! Oh! My eyes!
We are actually family.
Oh,
Oh my God!
We became best friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry now.
I love you so much.
Friends, the reunion. Watch on demand. This program brought to you by Bet365. Gamble responsibly. Macca's best ever loose change menu. And Bunnings Warehouse. Kick off your home projects.
It's Australian football's biggest stage, the 35th National League Grand Final and 15th in the A-League era. The top two teams from the regular season about to go head-to-head, with Melbourne City finally breaking through for their first appearance in the big dance, while Sydney FC return for a record-equalling sixth decider as they defend the title won 15 months ago in Perth. Hello and welcome wherever you're watching around the world, from Europe to Africa, from Asia to the United States, but especially those family, friends and fans in Melbourne cheering on their team as the lockdown continues down there. The 11th finals match for this club overall. Entered the competition in 2010, and they have the league's leading scorer this season, Jamie McLaren, spearheading the lineup, and Nathaniel Atkinson filling the boots of the captain, Scott Jamieson, who watches on from back in Melbourne after putting family first ahead of the club, understandably, after the arrival of his young son, Cooper. And there is the Sydney boy, Tom Glover, in goal, the biggest game of his career. 3 years with Tottenham in the academy. He is a Sutherland boy from here in Sydney, and he was exceptional in the semi-final on Wednesday night. Both these teams won 2-0 on Wednesday to advance to the big one. What's going through this teenager's mind? 19 years of age, his first grand final at any level. Has not looked out of place with all of that game time in the absence of Michael Zullo. He's right alongside this man in defence. A record 6th A-League appearance in a grand final for Alex Wilkinson. So Melbourne City in their first grand final get the ball rolling against Sydney FC, playing in their 6th. A record equalling effort for them. And right on the front foot, the team in red and white tonight. There's King, the teenager, finding Bratton, who switched between these clubs. Sloppy by Sydney FC, and Noon in behind already. McLaren with a chance, and Redtray in front of Redmayne clears it for a corner. That's the kind of opportunity McLaren normally thrives on.
Yeah, but a boisterous start from City off the kickoff. And Sydney couldn't deal with the pressure. Eric Mombert has spoken a lot about aggressiveness, not physicality necessarily in the contest, but an aggressive mentality. And his team has certainly come out of the sheds on fire.
Right in front of the Cove. Noon delivers, and the header was there for Curtis Good. So the quickest goal in A-League history was 9 minutes in from Costa Barbarouses a few years ago. They've had 2 chances in the first minute.
Well, they'd love to state the bleeding obvious, have notched one from that opening 30 seconds. And a lot of people have been talking about the contribution of Eric Mombert, and pre-game, what a fantastic insight from Fox Sports' Robbie Slater.
Here's Lockie Wales down that right-hand side. All that speed to burn. Off the head of Wilkinson. Atkinson to tidy up. Finding the Uruguayan, Adrian Luna. Opens up for Atkinson in here on his right boot. There's a right footer playing in that left-back role.
He didn't set himself at all well for that shot, but he got past Anthony Caceres relatively easily in that one-on-one situation. Caceres has shown him inside, which might have been the instruction, but Paolo Retro was nowhere to be seen.
Again, it's Bratton, who left Melbourne City after the end of last season, reading their intent early on, winning it back in the opposition half a couple of times. Delbridge playing in that right back role behind Lockie Wales. Trying to slice one for McLaren, who's stolen in behind. Decent first touch to take him around Redmayne, who closed down the angles in the end. And there's the threat that Jamie McLaren possesses, the ability to get in behind.
Well, Jamie McLaren over the years has really impressed and improved as an aerial threat. But I reckon the ball here, straight over the top, Wilkinson beaten, that's a first-time nod. If he looks at that again, I reckon he'll be thinking, I should have backed my instinct.
Finn Bickler, lovely pass, Lockie Wales against Wilkinson. And he teases it across for Craig Noon, who takes the touch. And in the end, nearly rolled it home, but McGowan was there to back up his goalkeeper. They hesitated a couple of times there, Melbourne City, and the opportunity was lost in the end.
Well, he nearly got away with it, Craig Noon. But for all money, after the beautiful setup from Lockie Wales, and Finn Bickler reads that delightfully. The first time pass to Wales was superb. Lockie's setup was excellent. And I think everyone watching was expecting Craig Noon just to step through that with his left foot. That, it seemed to me, was the big opportunity. But they come again, Melbourne City.
Berenguer pounces this time. Late run from Luna. Noon looking at McLaren on the edge of the area. Here's a chance for Delbridge! What a moment for Melbourne City! In their first grand final, they lead 17 minutes in. It's just the second goal in his A-League career for big Harrison Delbridge. What a time to come up with it.
Well, the pressure, early pressure, has paid off. A wonderful start from Melbourne City. And it's the former Appalachian State mountaineer who's taken the first step in climbing the A-League summit here at Bankwest. Beautiful setup. A miss hit there, it's true, and the deflection was fortunate.
This actually goes through the legs there of that Sydney defender, and I wonder if that deceived a little bit the goalkeeper, but they're checking something speedy.
Yeah, he's been summoned to look at Lockie Wales obstructing the view of Redmayne there. The ball doesn't come via Lockie Wales, but is he obstructing the view of the number one? Mark Bosnich, your thoughts here?
This is going to be a very tough decision. He's having to look at it literally a metre away right now. If you look at it right there, he's directly in front of Redmayne. There's no doubt about that. It could be argued so are the Sydney players to a lesser extent, but if you watch here, just as he strikes, he's directly in front of him.
And I think it's going to be ruled out here. It's no goal for Harrison Delbridge. We're still goalless. Very similar time to when Sydney FC had one ruled out last year.
Indeed. Well, the Mountaineer is back at base camp.
Which is a bit patchy in places. Also pretty impressive considering the traffic. Luke Bratton, through ball. Penalty potential here for Sydney FC. Lafondra thought he was nudged over by Curtis Good after that superb first touch. VAR will check it out. But no joy on the spot kick front yet. And the step over works out for Barbarouses. Chance to run at Finn Bickler. He's got him on the wrong foot, and the early shot trying to surprise Glover.
Well, here we go. It's a great touch. He's in on goal. He's got him. Put it this way, if Chris Beath gives a penalty, the VAR's not going to overturn it. But that's a penalty. 8 days a week. Robbie Slater.
Was a 100% penalty. No doubt about that, because his next touch is a striker goal. Got that run wrong, Chris Beath. And
Glover. Tidy ball out. And Luna looking to drop it in for McLaren again. Here's Noon. They cry for handball, but it's alive for Craig Noon. It's forced wide by Wilkinson, and in the end it's a goal kick.
Yeah, good composed defending. Jamie McLaren's movement in and around the blind spots of Ryan McGowan is really causing some nervousness for Sydney. Hasn't had many touches, McLaren, but he really destabilises the central defenders because they lose track of him. He's working those spaces so beautifully.
What a touch from Lafondra. After Curtis Good misjudged it, and now looking to tee it up. And on the follow-up, he had a chance. Well, Costa Barbarouses has scored in a couple of grand finals. Lafondra nearly set him up for a third grand final goal.
Well, it was a beautiful touch and turn. And in the frantic culmination of this opportunity, Lafondra didn't see Ninkovic bearing down on the back post. It's good defending from Delbridge. And Steve Corica will be heartened that the sluggishness, if you can call it that, of the start to the match seems to have gone. They've got to keep their eyes on McLaren. He's buzzing around dangerously. The Golden Boot winner.
Caceres again. A nice little montage of his skill set. Kisnorvo with some advice to the fourth official, Alex King, hoping that message might get through to Chris Beath at the break, perhaps. Which isn't too far away. One final attack in this first half. Just the 1 minute of stoppage time added on after that VAR review. That chalked off a Melbourne City goal. So it's goalless at the break. No shortage of talking points so far. Harrison Delbridge saw his name up in lights for a moment before VAR intervened. Andrew Redmayne delighted with that adjudication. Had his vision obscured by Lockie Wales. At the break, Sydney FC 0, Melbourne City 0 in the grand final. And for some reason, Labumba morphed into Bimby and it stuck. And Corica's not all that happy about it. 31 years on, still being referred to as Bimby, but it's a good nickname.
Well, everyone I know who knows Bimby is Bimby. Always was and always will be.
How can either coach change this game, do you think?
Yeah, it's obviously not as you could say, electric start as we had in the first half. Two teams are trying to settle in a little bit more into some type of pattern. Sydney doing a bit better in terms of getting more numbers into midfield, not getting outnumbered as much. The question is, can Melbourne City make this dominance pay? If they don't, the more and more it's going to affect them psychologically.
Wales pulls it back. Berenguer trying to improvise. Delbridge inside the area. He set it all up, and now they should get a corner as Noon's shot was blocked by his opposite number.
It's Alex Wilkins. That's a rare moment, like a $3 note. Mucked up his clearance. Lockie Wales does well again, sets up the play. Wilkins, you could go another 36 years. And the danger of Ninkovic. And he's barely cast a shadow on the game so far tonight. Whoops.
Missed kick from Atkinson. Caceres quickly to Lafondra. And it breaks back the way of Caceres. Here comes Milos Ninkovic! Denied by Todd Glover with a really strong hand. What a save from the young man. Spilt back to Sydney FC. Look at the space ahead of Caceres. Urged on by those fans in sky blue. Lafondra now. Alongside is Rattray. Paolo Rattray! Good power in the shot, but bending wide of that post. A nearly moment for Paolo.
Well, it's Rattray's best moment of the game. Thomas Glover's had a couple of good ones. But here's Caceres to Ninkovic. It never settled for him, really. The first touch just too straight. He needed more of an angle. He couldn't really get the power on that left foot, and it was a savable height, but he does ever so well, Thomas Glover. And then Caceres, it's a killer run from Costa Barbarouses. It's attracted all the traffic into the middle of the penalty area, but Sydney's still good enough to come out and get a second bite at the cherry. Retro's best moment of the game, pushing forward. Well, it's been the feature of the last few minutes from both teams. It's the desperate stretch in midfield to cut out a pass. And the game is just on that edge. If one of those passes goes through.
Berenguer found by Noon, and now Craig Noon trying to place it. Again, it's a tame shot at the end of it all, and the goalkeeper had plenty of time to make the save.
It's rare space on championship day. Berenguer, a rare moment for him to get in behind. Nice overlapping run, set up beautifully. The cutback is more than adequate, and on his favoured left foot as well. He never, ever looked convincing there, Craig Noon.
This pitch can prove tough to change direction on under lights as the dew sets in. Numbers in and around the box here. And Galloway has scored from here. Scott Galloway surprising Andrew Redmayne, who had to get across and smother on the half volley. Well, if you watch the pre-game, Scott Galloway scored one of the top 10 goals of the season doing that.
Cut in nicely. Very strong work with his left foot. Lockie Wales setting up the play, and it dipped wickedly. It's actually expert work in my assessment from Andrew Redmayne to defuse that one.
He's onside here, Lafondra. Across the face, the diving header. He's kept it out again, has he, Glover? Quite remarkably, with Trent Bahaja flying in for Sydney FC. I think it came back off the keeper. Nathan Denham of the Sutherland Sharks will be a proud mentor watching on. Would have been an own goal off Atkinson. There's Adrian Luna. That leg has been strapped since the outset. He's had the cut man in his corner, keeping the blood at bay. A lot of numbers forward here. Adrian Luna on the turn, and the shot straight down the throat of Redmayne, and that had power in it either side, and he might just be the hero.
And he had time to pick the side as well. He makes good contact. He shifted the ball to the side to make the shot, but he couldn't get the angle. And to the right.
And the 5 minutes is just about up. Chris Beath checks his watch, and we're going to need at least another 30 minutes to find out the winner tonight. Full time after 90 minutes in the grand final. Tom Glover keeping Sydney FC at bay. Melbourne City having a goal chalked off by VAR. That's part of the reason that we're goalless. It's 0-0 after 90. So away we go in extra time. Melbourne City starting with the ball as they did and got right on the front foot at the opening of this contest. And Atkinson from the kickoff routine delivers. Brave goalkeeping by Redmayne. And it pinballed around a little. You see, opened up alarmingly from a kickoff routine there. Credit to Melbourne City for all that work they've been doing during hub life. Johan keeps it alive, finds Ninkovic. It might just open up here in the extra period. King, lung-bursting run for no reward.
Well, great start to extra time. Melbourne City asking a serious question of Sydney. And this is knife-edge stuff, this from Redmayne. Just throws everything and gets there, importantly. And then Sydney, with a decent bit of athleticism from Johan, who was surrounded in midfield, lost control of the ball.
Here's McLaren dropping off that front line. Rami Najari onto his left, great-looking delivery, but all the way through to Grant. Berlanti, and the volley from Josh Berlanti, nearly back to haunt Sydney FC.
Well, he set that up nicely under extreme duress. The ball bouncing around, Sydney defending frantically. Berlanti positions himself facing the game. He makes the space nicely, and he gets a good swing at it. Very clean strike.
Here's Ninkovic for Bahaja, taking on Galloway. Trent Bahaja still alive, and the back heel nearly broke for Lafondra. King can keep it in. Here is Rattray. Bratton demanding. Picking out right. Grant chesting it home. The kid from Canberra with the smarts at the back post. He scored another grand final goal for Sydney FC. How clever is that finish? Using his head to use his chest to finally beat Tom Glover.
Well, Bahaja does well, really, to put the Melbourne City team on the back foot. Rattray just hands it off to the maestro. This is a superb ball. Nothing more, nothing less from Luke Bratton. Eyes up, receives an open, sees the channel, has to drop it right on the nipple, and he does. On Ryan Grant's nipple, into the back of the net. Sydney staring at another championship. Melbourne City crestfallen. Grant forces it home. It's sheer brilliance from Luke Bratton to make that chance.
Luna got rid of Bahaja. Past another. Finishing strongly here. They don't want this half to come to an end. Seconds away from the whistle. Scott Galloway lifts it too high that time. But does Eric Mombert think about some changes? Moody Najjar as a striker sitting on the bench. The young man recently scored his first A-League goal.
Well, he's certainly got the box of tricks which they need, but it was a really telling response there. Ghosts going into the break now, waiting for the second period of extra time.
Double change from Eric Mombert here. Going for broke with 15 minutes to go. Attacking options off the bench. Stefan Kolikovsky, the boyhood Melbourne Heart fan, playing in the red and white here. And Moody Najjar, another Sydney boy, playing for City. And Rami Nazarene and the Sydney FC substitute today, Luka Ivanovic, were part of a front three at Westfield Sportside. They were tough to beat that year. They won the national championship pretty convincingly. No Ivanovic yet, but Nazarene and Najjar are both out there. Johan finds an angle. Lafondra on target at the near post, and Glover kept it out.
It's great goalkeeping. He has to cover his near post there, but still it was so sharp and so low. This was the difficulty from my reading of it. Low and close to his body. You know, for a big guy to drop and cover that space, Mark Bosnich, incredible.
Across the face, Glover spilt it, and Binbickler was there to bail him out. Bahaja was sniffing around, a rare blemish from Glover.
Well, it's excellent work before then from Bum Johan. Ball from the throw-in lobbed over. It's a bit of work to do to control it, but he makes space and fires that ball in, and a very relieved Tom Glover, who's been great up till then. Binbickler saved him.
Sydney FC pushing for a second. Again, the header on target. That near post angle. Matthew Sporanovic once scored in the grand final for the Wanderers, being utilised here by Sydney FC. And another corner is upcoming.
Well, the effort from Ryan Grant today, before and after the goal, if he wasn't enjoying cult status at Sydney FC fan group, he will be certainly after this. Another solid bit of work on the near post. Good corner.
And look at this space. Rattray looking for the runners. Picks out Adam Lafondra. Curling it, and Glover got there. Bahaja to keep it in. And touched his hand on the rebound there. And it will be a free kick awarded against Bahaja. No corner this time.
Good work again, Glover. Good option from Lafondra. Set a bit wide. Went for that far post.
Nazarene providing the width. Curtis Good. Atkinson. Nathaniel Atkinson, and tipped over by Redmayne. That's a really good shot from the left back cutting in.
He's looked pretty likely today, Atkinson. really likely, and Sydney had backed off. There was a pile of space for Atkinson. Curtis Good, even then Sydney, off that sloppy touch from Curtis Good, Sydney didn't react at all. That's a lot of space to afford someone.
Lovely pass, splitting the lines. Metcalf now. And there's a sliding challenge, all ball won by McGowan. Fondra saying, let's steady things down. We don't need to push a pass, but King didn't cop that advice. No damage done as Grant tells Baumjohann to head for the corner if he wants to. He sees Bahaja though, placing it first time, and Glover had his angle sorted. He went left foot there, Trent Bahaja.
A good ball in from Baumjohann, but again, at last-ditch defending, this time from Roston Griffiths, just really putting the pressure on Bahaja. He got his effort in on goal, in fairness to him, but it was never going to trouble Glover, and they stay alive. Melbourne City with impressive fight.
120th minute. Ryan Grant scored the opening goal in the 100th minute. Griffiths delivery, flying header, just over. And out off Sydney, Ryan Grant has denied a goal perhaps, with Curtis Good thrown forward there. He got a little touch on the header.
Well, this is Partaloo time, Speedy.
Maybe Glover time. Goalkeeper is forward. Galloway's delivery. McLaren keeping it alive. And prevent another corner, had to be careful there. Galloway whips it back in, the header! And it was his Partaloo moment. But Curtis Good couldn't find a way past Redmayne.
He's struggling to get back now, Curtis Good. He's been enormous for Melbourne City. We're not going to get too many more sights at the target with the available time.
1 more minute to force a penalty shootout. Nazarene right into the backside of Ryan Grant. A contender for the Joe Marsden medal. Won by Ninkovic last year. Galloway lifts it forward. Metcalf. Was he fouled there? And the referee says no. And Baumjohann doesn't have a whole lot of support. Atkinson on the stretch. Sydney FC throw.
Well, that should be it for Sydney. They should be able to play this one out. Just been impressive tonight with their fight. Melbourne City played some great stuff. But the man who leaps over to take the throw, Ryan Grant, adjudged no foul there by Rattray on Connor Metcalf.
Sydney FC set another new benchmark. They're the first 5-time champions in Australian football history. Steve Corica's side go back-to-back. And Ryan Grant is being mobbed right now after a quite superb winner that separates the two sides in the end. Another clean sheet for Andrew Redmayne on grand final day. And it is heartbreak for Melbourne City. So after extra time in the 2020 grand final, it is Sydney FC 1, Melbourne City 0. Tears for the vanquished.
So once again, for the 5th time in the Hyundai A-League, your champions of Australia, Sydney FC.
This has been a Fox Sports production.
We are underway. What a start. What a goal.
Welcome to the Sunday Ticket.
And they are jumping for joy.
Great to have your company, as always, on a Sunday night.
Brilliant.
You all know what this is, right? But have you ever learnt its real value? Money is the one thing we're tested on every day of our lives. But at school, we aren't even taught the basics. It's time for a financial revolution, and it kicks off with our kids.
What you want for the children of the
one best-selling author and most trusted finance expert.
I'm going to schools all around Australia to teach some very valuable lessons. And it all starts with a little change.
New series, Scott Pape's Money Movement. Begins Wednesday, 8:30 on Lifestyle or Watch On Demand.
If you don't want to take risks, don't get out of bed in the morning.
The most important is your own intelligence.
I work with the weather. I work with nature.
You can pray, you can hope, you can wish. It's all the same.
My goal in my life is to die here.
It takes more than you think to survive here.
It's something in your personality.
Life Below Zero, Character Stories. Starts next Saturday, 8:30 on BBC Earth and Watch On Demand.
Portico Security specialize in cash trucks across LA.
Do you have any idea how dangerous this job can be?
Some idea, yeah.
You ready?
Ready.
It doesn't feel right. It's like he wants trucks to get hit.
I can do it in 2 weeks. You only wish you could do it in 20 years. And I do bear a grudge.
Express release. Available now in Foxtel Store.
Switch to Foxtel NBN broadband and get 3 months free with lightning fast speeds, unlimited data, no setup costs and no lock-in contract. Make the switch today. Offer extended to June 30. Call 135 704.
Can Australia complete a perfect qualification phase in Group B and make it 8 wins out of 8? Here's how Australia are listed to line up. Well, according to the local television crew anyway. Ryan Grant obviously won't be a centre half. And we expect Australia perhaps to play with a back three. Trent Sainsbury on the Socceroos official team list says that he'll play as a defensive midfielder. So we'll see how that all plays out. Here's how Jordan line up, the danger man, Baha Faisal up top. 6 goals in this World Cup qualifying campaign. 3 against Nepal, 3 against Chinese Taipei. But the Socceroos did beat them on their home patch.